Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Alwi Algani. This is my final test for Prose class, and my lecturer is Ruiz. Thank you for your course, for your class, and I will tell about short story Sexy. The story about Sexy. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going into plot, and first plot is exposition. What is exposition? Exposition is a literary device used to introduce background information about events, settings, character, or other elements of a work of our reader. Okay, that's definition about exposition. Going to quotation. No, okay, like this. It was a worst nightmare. After 9 years of marriage, Lakshmi told Miranda her cousin husband had fallen in love with another woman. He sat next to her on flight from Delhi to Montreal, and instead of flying home to his wife. Imagine, man fall in love with woman who sat in the next. Can you imagine? Come on. For my exposition is, imagine the gossip person telling you a story that was happened in the beginning to Miranda, our heroine, if you could call her that. She's listening to her coworker ask me, let's talk about cousin's husband who total adultery creep a wife worst nightmare. And now we're going to second plot is rising action. And definition about rising action. Rising action is in a plot is a series of relevant incidents that create suspense, interest, and attention in a narrative. In other words, or rising action includes decisions, character flaws, and background circumstances that together create turns and twists leading to a climax. And quotation for rising action in Sexy Story, Miranda said, "I don't believe you." It was the first time she had spoken since they entered. She felt as if speakers were embedded in her ears. "Go ahead," he urged. Walking backward to his end of the bridge, his voice dropped to a whisper, "Say something." She watched his lips forming the words. That's for me racing action. And maybe we have different, yeah. Okay, for my analysis, at one point they go to the Maparium, where not only does Dave teach Miranda even more about geography and the word he speaks. The very significant line to Miranda, "You're sexy." After Miranda whispered, "Hi, hi." Why are they even saying this stuff for each other? Now we're going to third plot is climax. What is climax? Climax is the highest point, tension, or drama in narrative. Plot. Often climax is also when the main problem of the story is faced and solved by the main character or protagonist. So climax is the highest point of tension. The highest point of tension. That's climax. Now we go to fourth plot is falling action. Falling action occurs right after climax. Right after climax, okay? If here climax, here falling action. Right after falling action. If they left climax action, climax, falling. Right, you get it? Okay. Yes, falling action is after climax. When the main problem of the story resolves, it is one of the elements of the plot of the story. The other elements being exposition, rising action, climax and resolution. Falling action wraps up the narrative, resolve it loose ends, the lead toward the closure. Yeah, and all of this makes Miranda cry too. She thinks about they at the Maparium when she could hear Dev speaks to her perfectly clear from 30 feet away and how close he seemed. She felt a loss too. While Miranda crying, Rohin just continues sleeping. Miranda figures it pick up Rohin used to hearing a woman cry. That a falling action. Falling action. Okay, now we are going to setting place. What is setting place? Setting is the time and place or when and where of the story is literary element of literary used in novels, short stories, plays, films, and many more, and usually introduced during the exposition of the story along with the characters, settings, may also include the environment of the story, which can be made up of the physical location, climate, weather, or social and cultural surrounding. Okay, now we are going to characters. We have Miranda. She's young, naive, beautiful, and a romantic who falls in love with the wrong married man. She's also a transplanted white Midwesterner. And Dev, we have Dev here. Dev is a exotic lover. Miranda always dreams about good looking, a gentleman, a passionate. He is from India and is cheating on his wife while she is India. And we have another character, Lakshmi cousin, and Rohin, the boy. Rohin the boy. Okay, we're going to theme and point of view. We have in irony, in theme, marriage, culture, sex. If infidelity, yield community, and communication. Now we're going to definition of POV or point of view. Point of view or POV is what the character or narrator telling the story can see, his or her perspective. Okay, point of view or POV is what the characters or narrator can see, his or her perspective. Okay, you get it? Quotation POV. Somehow without the wife, it didn't seem too wrong. At first, Miranda and Dev spent every night together almost. He explained that he couldn't spend the whole night at her place because his wife called every day at 6 in the morning from India where it was 4 in the afternoon. Yeah, maybe. And analysis for POV. The point of view of sexy is third narrator. The author tells story by using pronoun for each character in the story and know about whole story deeply. Yes. Third narrator. Third person analysis. Okay, finally we're going to in theory and issues. God. Issues you have marriage relations issues and culture. Emergent issues in the beginning of the sex story begins with conversation between Miranda and Lakshmi. It was wife worst nightmare after 9 years of marriage. Lakshmi told Miranda, like I said in the first plot, that maybe marriage issues for me and marriage theory. I'm sorry. Most people know that an alarming 14 or 50% of marriage end in divorce. Yes, they are divorced. American Psychology Discussion 20 and 15. Research show that most of these divorces are not because of physical abuse or addiction, but the two primary reasons people divorce are to either escape from a relation that has been painful, of loveless, or destructive or to seek a more satisfying single life or with another person. Yes, maybe they're cheating, loveless, the, the yeah, finally the end. Thank you, Miss. It is my video. I have any mistakes or any mistakes, I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Miss. Bye.